Are you serious? Are you serious? I know I am very serious, and this is going to be an incredible broadcast today because we've got breaking news coming right out of Washington. The Fed chair, Mr. Powell himself, has said he vows to prolong the economic support for the United States by not raising interest rates for at least 3 more years. It's going to be 0 to sub-zero. Now, what that means is, folks, if you have money in the bank, you're not going to get any interest for it for at least 3 years. How does that affect the economy? As a matter of fact, the U.S. Central Bank has pledged to continue its support for the U.S. economy for several years, they said. Most Federal Reserve leaders said they expect to keep the interest rates near zero or lower for at least the next 3 years. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said officials did not expect to change a course until recovery was very far along. This is huge, folks. This is huge, and we need to understand, what does that mean? Even the Bank of England said they're going to keep their interest rates at sub-zero. What does it all mean on a global scale? Let's get the answers from the man who has all the answers when it comes to this area, Colin Plume at noblegoldinvestment.com. Colin, how you doing?
Pastor Paul, I think one may ask themselves, does Jerome Powell love gold? Because he is just set the table for what we do in a remarkable way, because he gave people that footing that they need. And that's really the big problem. You and I have talked about this with the election coming up, with Corona, with the way people are working. There's no footing. There's no footing right now. But he gave a runway for gold by saying low interest rates or negative interest rates, because if there's anything out there that's going to help the price of gold, it's the fact that our money is worth, that you're basically, there's no return out there for any safe, like typical bond returns. All that money is gone. And, there's no potential for any return in your quote unquote safe havens. And that has to be something when people are looking at gold, it has to be something that they consider. And I'll tell you this, I have a friend who's a bond trader, and he told me in April that he anticipated gold to break, $2,200 an ounce before the end of the year. This is when gold was at, around 1420, 1430 when it pulled back. And I saw him this morning, and he's even raised his expectations because he's in the bond market. So basically, he's helping endowments and funds. They buy bonds, right? They move from they buy a risky investment, then they move into safe investments, or they just stay. Some of these endowments, they need to make a certain very low return. And he said the bond returns are so depleted that these endowments are now looking at gold and silver, and I even think platinum is something that people should be considering right now, because platinum is used in so many different areas, industrial-wise. Our water purification, they use platinum in that process. A lot of the pacemakers have some platinum in it. So I think there's a lot of room on some of these precious metals to go, and there's just not a lot of options out there, Pastor Paul.
No, I would think there wouldn't be. And folks, this is Colin Plume with us from noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. Colin, I was thinking about this. I don't know. I don't remember ever hearing the Fed chair make a statement that says, I'm not going to raise interest, it's going to be around basically zero for 3 years. I mean, that's unbelievable. So
you're 100% right. And actually, I said this to somebody this morning, that it's such a weird statement to basically admit that the economy is in such shambles that we can't even get out of it for 3 years. That would be the only reason, right? Why would you artificially keep interest rates low for such an indefinite time period. And the thing that's troubling is that no one's talking about recession, right? No. We're in this recession, right? I mean, and no one's talking about it because it looks like the stock market's doing well. But if you really look at the numbers, you really look at the majority of companies out there, they are not doing well. Most of the big growth is in 5 companies, and the rest are sort of kind of hanging around. And obviously you have your exceptions, you have your Teslas, but I don't think anybody doesn't think Tesla's overpriced. You have some stocks that make sense, like Zoom. That makes sense, right? Everybody's on Zoom.
Yeah.
But why would Tesla be worth what it's worth when the idea of needing a car right now seems almost like a car would be the least of anybody's concern, especially a very expensive car that you need to have a lot of things to be able to run. So there's so many misleading factors with the economy right now, and I don't like where things are, but I do think Jerome Powell saying the next 3 years interest rates negative or below zero is a very telling sign.
Yeah, this is very telling. I agree with you. Now, what this is going to do, obviously, Colin, it looks like to me, it's going to cause the price of gold, silver, platinum, and all these precious metals to go up. And so I guess but what about Bitcoin? I mean, right now, Bitcoin's at 10,915. It's been almost to 20,000. Maybe it was 20,000. Do you see this? Do you see it also going up along with gold and silver?
I think it has a lot to do with if we see one more sort of black swan event that would shake things up even farther, like any kind of potential war, or if we see unemployment go the other direction, or we see another large bailout. I believe first quarter of the next year, we're going to see some bank bailouts pretty heavy. So if we see any of those 3 events start to happen, I think people will go to Bitcoin as an alternative investment. And I think that, yes, it did break $20,000 an ounce 3 years ago. But I think even now it makes more sense for it to hit an even higher number because Bitcoin is more accepted out there than ever. More people are buying it. More people are trading it than ever. 3 years ago, when you look at the amount of people trading Bitcoin, it was like less than 1% was even actively trading Bitcoin, like the trading market. I'm not saying like regular people buying it and holding it. I'm saying the active traders that had Bitcoin was less than 1%. Now we're at about 4% of that market is actively traded. As that grows, I think you'll see a spike in price because more people will be in that market buying and selling, hedging. So as that market continues to become more accepted, you'll see more of that happening. And I've said it, I don't know if I've said it here, but I do think eventually a country will take Bitcoin on as their currency. I wouldn't be shocked by some third world country taking it on, as opposed to keeping a currency that they have that's typically it's deflated by some kind of corrupt leader. So I think we'll see that happen. Obviously, that'll push it to the forefront. So yeah, I think alternative investments are where things are at right now, and I think it's continuing to go there. Obviously, silver has been an incredible investment for everybody that got in. It hit $13.90 an ounce, and we're sitting at 27 some change as of today. So that's been a phenomenal investment, and that will continue to be because silver mining, being shut down for basically shut down for about 4 months, really put the silver market behind the 8 ball in terms of not getting enough. And you had all this unbelievable demand of people that needed it on the retail side buying coins. You saw the U.S. Mint shut down, the Royal Canadian Mint shut down. They couldn't keep up. But there's the industrial use of silver that's out there too. So I think silver and platinum are a really, really good buy right now, and will continue to be.
Folks, this is Colin Plume with us today with noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. You can call him, Colin, or one of his associates at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. If you're thinking about setting up a gold IRA or a silver IRA or rolling over your 401k, I'm telling you, if you're out there and you've got a 401k and you've already quit working, it's just sitting there, it's got to be depressing this year to watch it lose money all year when you could have been doubling your money if you were in silver all year. I mean, that's the truth. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I even think, some people's 401ks might be holding, they might be doing okay, but once you leave an employer and you're no longer there, it really makes a lot of sense to consider rolling it into self-directed IRA. Whether you're going to do gold or silver is entirely up to you, but I think that, with the 401k system, you're limited to maybe 50 to 200 mutual funds that they designate are the ones that you have to invest into. Whereas if you roll into an IRA, you can buy gold and silver, you could buy an investment property. I had a client buy a winery, which I don't know how he made any money owning a winery, but he did that. You can buy Tesla stock or Ford or GE. GE, I think, you look at where the prices could be good. So at least if you move into a self-directed IRA, you can make your own decisions and drive the ship, so to speak, which I think is really important. And I think now more than ever, it's more important to be in charge of your money. If you can get access to it, you need to take control of it and not just let it sit in some mutual funds that you don't really understand, because the fees in those mutual funds are high, and they may just be buying the same stocks that you could buy on your own. I mean, most of them are made up of a conglomerate of stocks that you could go out and buy at a much lower price. So, the good thing about us at Noble Gold is, we're not going to tell you that gold and silver may not be for you, but we are going to tell you that taking control of your financial future is something we recommend. And being diversified is something we recommend. And so that's, the only way to do that is you got to pull your head out of the sand and start taking, start pushing your own agenda, and because nobody else is. At the end of the day, no, you have to be in control of your money and your future. And one of the things right now that's really exciting, Pastor Paul, is you probably have that Apollo 11 coin that we sent out. That's a free coin, and that's for this month. If you roll over any qualified IRA, you're going to get that coin for free. It's $300 value. It'll get sent to your doorstep. I think it's one, I don't know what you think about it. I think it's one of the most beautiful coins U.S. Mint's ever made in the last probably 15, 20 years. So I hope you like it, Pastor Paul, and I know a lot of people are really, really excited about it. So
I do. I absolutely love it, and I've been showing it. And here it is, folks, again, and you see it in its case. What a beautiful, beautiful gift. So if you go to noblegoldinvestment.com and set up an IRA, a qualified IRA, gold or silver, they will send you this beautiful 5 ounces of pure silver, beautiful coin of the Apollo 11 moon landing. What a great, great gift from Noble Gold, and it is gorgeous. It really is. I think that what's happened is, Colin, we right now, folks, right now, you don't have to sit and wonder what the Fed's going to do. They told you what they're going to do. 3 years are not going to raise interest rates, which means savings accounts will make no money. CDs will make basically no money for the next 3 years. So you got a 3-year window to make a decision. And I'm with you, Colin. Now, Tesla, the SpaceX thing was incredible. The future looks bright. They just got billions of dollars of contracts. Look, he's looking on top of the world right now, but Tesla Motors has actually been failing ever since he owned it. Now, I like what he's done with the Tesla, but if you want to be honest, and I've been looking at some of the rest of the stocks, I think that they've been in Amazon and Facebook. I think these guys are going to come down a little bit. I think that's the thing about the market. It's a little inflated even at 27,000. What do you think, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, the market, you look at the capitalization on Tesla, it's higher than Toyota, yet they make a fraction of the amount of cars.
Yeah.
I mean, those things don't equate for me. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest value investors in the world, Warren Buffett, he's been, and I think it's a really interesting time that he's been a champion of U.S. equities. He's been a champion of U.S. banks. 2008, he said, I still think they're undervalued. And I think, there was a big correction, and then he was proven to be right. But why now is he liquidating his bank stocks? Why now is he liquidating Wells Fargo? He must know that there's a problem. He must know that a lot of these big office buildings are coming back. A lot of these mortgages are not going to get covered. A lot of people are not going to be able to pay once the stimulus dries up. And so he liquidated a lot of his Wells Fargo, why would a Warren Buffett? He knows any move like this sends shockwaves. He's liquidating it, and he's buying Barrick Gold, one of the biggest, if not the biggest mining company in the world, because he thinks it's undervalued. So I do think it's interesting that someone like him would be a player in the precious metals market, where he has ridiculed buyers of gold and silver for the past probably 30 years. He bought silver about 25 years ago, bought a decent amount of silver, some silver mining companies, and some physical silver. But he's been a big, person that said that gold doesn't make sense, and now he's in the gold market. So I think and this is a guy that buys value, right? Even at 90 years old, he doesn't want to lose money. That's the interesting thing. He always buys undervalued properties. So for him to buy it now, it really shows that he thinks that we're in trouble, and he doesn't think we're getting out of it anytime soon.
Colin Plume with us from noblegoldinvestment.com. The phone number there, 877-646-5347. Colin or one of his associates take care of you, I guarantee it. Something that's really amazing, even in the Bible, folks, gold and silver has been the currency of choice, okay? Even when the children of Israel were leaving Egypt, God had already told Abraham in the 15th chapter of Genesis, he said, oh, by the way, your fourth generation will spend 400 years in bondage in a land that they don't belong in. But when I'm going to bring them out, and when I do, they will come out with a great substance. Well, what was that substance? Well, you go to the book of Exodus, you find out when Moses leaves, they took all of as much gold and silver as they could. Okay, so that currency has been used. Even Jesus, when he had to pay his taxes, said, catch a fish, and what he find inside the fish, Colin? Gold coin. Paid all the taxes for him and all his disciples. Gold and silver will stay very current up until the end of time, and then people will throw it on the street.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, and I was talking to somebody recently who said, if I buy gold from you, how do I buy normal day-to-day things, right? And there's for someone that has this concern, they've thought of this, right? There's a company there's a Valcambi gold bar, and really beautiful bar, and they make them in 50 and 100 grams, so they're pretty good sized bar of gold, and you can break them off into 1 gram pieces. It's already sectioned off. So for someone that thinks, hey, you know what, I might need to barter with this, you can break it off into those smaller pieces. So there is a fit for everybody when it comes to some of the gold and silver, because I do think that is a concern, is that maybe we're trading with gold and silver. Obviously silver makes a lot of sense for trading and bartering. That's why a lot of people buy smaller coins, or even there's those pre-silver coins, the pre-1974, they call them junk silver. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Pastor Paul, but these are coins in circulation until before 1964 were 90% silver. So these are coins that have a lot of value. A quarter that's from 1963 is worth, $4 or $5 depending on the condition today. So it's worth much more than its face value. So there's every kind of mix for everybody that's looking, whether you want an American Eagle or a bar, we have all those for different people. And we have that Apollo 11 coin for people that want that too. So there's different sizes and mixes for everybody. A little platinum I would recommend right now, but it's an exciting time. And I think the thing that I love about what I do is, when people get these coins and these bars, they feel better. They look at them, they show their kids, then they put them away and they pull them out every once in a while to take a look at them. Don't take that coin out of the case while we're on this, Pastor Paul. And for anybody watching this, that is a proof coin. That's not supposed to be touched by human hands. You're supposed to look at it outside of the case. So for anybody watching, don't take that coin out. As much as you might want to get your hand in there and touch that silver, do not touch that silver. It will lessen the value of that coin. But it is exciting to get some, liquid wealth in your hands.
Colin, it's really amazing, folks, and I've always appreciated your company's honesty, candor. You've been very up front with everyone, and as a Christian company and family owned, I think it's wonderful you do what you do. A good friend of our ministry, and I can tell you, folks. So you're saying, Colin, people can call you and actually buy this coin from you?
I got to be honest, I don't have a lot of them, but I have a few because I'm saving them for people that do IRAs. So and those coins are hard to get. Even to get the number that I got was very difficult. So I can't sell you many of those, but if you call in and you want to buy some other stuff, we'll help you acquire those. But I'm saving them for people that do the IRA because I want people to get a nice special gift from us and from my family. So that's the majority of it. But, I can break off a few here or there if someone really, really wants. I think they're a cool gift for grandkids. And I've had, I gave them to everybody on our staff as a gift because this is, I think, one of the most interesting coins we have. And I've had a few employees buy them for their kids, and they're going to put them away. And, I have them set aside for my kids. So, because in my opinion, that coin is, 7 to 10 years worth $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. I think that coin's going to just continue to go up and up. A lot of those special edition coins right now, there were some minted in 2014, 2013 that are already selling for $600 or $700. This coin right now is worth about $305. So I think there's a lot of upside in that silver Apollo 11 coin.
Colin, also, let me just ask you a question here, and that is, when as we're looking at this, people are going to say, should I jump in now with gold? It's at $19.56 an ounce, which is, at one time, that would be the all-time high just a few months ago.
Sure.
But silver's at $27 an ounce. Is silver got a chance of doubling again? Do you see silver going over $50 an ounce?
Absolutely. And I think gold is still a great value. You look at gold in 1983 hitting $900 an ounce. If you take those same dollars today and what you could buy, and you just made an even playing field, gold should be at $2,600 or $2,700. The value of the dollar is not what it was from 1983, obviously. When the Hunt brothers tried to take over the silver market in that same time period, silver hit $49 an ounce. We're sitting at $27 an ounce. And since 1983, the amount of industrial uses for both of those metals has actually skyrocketed. There is not, every hospital you go to, they're using gold in many different types of devices. Cancer research, you name it, they use a lot of gold. And even Apple got in the gold scavenging business. I read an article last week that all the old iPhones that Apple receives, that last year the value of gold in those iPhones, well, you get, how much you think in gold did they retrieve? Let me just throw out a number. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm going to say $10.
$50 million in gold.
Oh, I was thinking per phone. $50 million in gold.
$50 million in gold, Apple. So every iPhone that has, according to right now, and obviously it's depending on how you pull it out, but you're looking at about, you were kind of on the right track. So there's about $2.75 of gold in every iPhone right now. So I see where you were going. You were just doing per phone.
Right.
Yeah, they had $50 million in gold retrieved from, and that's just one of the things that they pulled out of those old iPhones. So yeah, there's a lot of value there in that gold that they're putting in the phones, and I just think all these industrial uses, they add up over time. I mean, Tesla, I mean those electric vehicles, they need silver. They need silver for those batteries. So these uses are not going anywhere. They're going to continue to go up. And I think the more we go into green energy, the more we go in this direction, these precious metals are going to become much more valuable, because gold is, in terms of conductive metals, it's one of the best ones out there. The reason they use gold in a lot of medical devices is it doesn't corrode in your body, which makes it much safer. So when you get a pacemaker and different things, you put it inside your body, you don't have to worry about it, expanding and killing you, for kind of layman's terms. But these properties in gold have been around for thousands of years. I mean, even the Egyptians were using gold for a lot of these things. So these uses are not going away, and they're going to continue to go up. And then, like you said, we got Powell saying low interest rates for 3 years. I mean, we got a nice runway here for what we're doing in precious metals.
Really do, folks. And as Colin just said, pick up the phone and call him. One of his associates at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. NobleGoldInvestments.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestments.com. You think about it, silver is being used in solar panels, as more green energy is being used. And also gold, as you just said, medical reasons. It's also the best conductor of electricity. If for like sound, any kind of sound wiring is best to have gold instead of the other metals. So again, there's tons of industrial use for it. And so we'll continue to watch and see what happens. I think this is just shocking news today that the Fed has made this decision. And I tell you what, folks, it's a runway. I think you just said it. There's a runway been laid. And I don't know where we're going from here as it relates to the economy. But one thing's for sure, whether the stock market readjusts or whether the economy struggles, gold will continue to rise, because that's a constant substance that you can count on. And I think there's your answer. It's
and one thing, and I'll leave you with this, Pastor Paul. I had a quote in a recent article on mining.com, which follows the mining of metals. And it was interesting in my conversation with them that silver is not even a metal that is really a topic there. And you'll see my article there where I talk about it, but they were saying it's such a secondary metal compared to the other things, and so much of it comes out of Mexico. The majority of the silver in the world comes out of Mexico, and they've been slowed down heavily by COVID, and they continue to be slowed down by COVID even now. People are sleeping on silver, and but yeah, if you want to read, I mean, we have gold guides, but if you want to read from go to mining.com, you'll see an article about silver there where I talk about it. They kind of present some of the statistics coming from them, and I'm fascinated that silver is not more talked about sort of in the mining community, because the industry just continues to grow and grow. So there's still a lot to learn. There's a lot of, and that's the thing, Pastor Paul. I think you and I, we're searchers. We're learning to educate ourselves. So even if someone calls in and they want free information and that's it, and they're not ready, it's fine. Everyone needs to learn. Everyone, whether you're at the beginning of your learning curve for metals or ready to make a decision, at the end of the day, you're going to like the people you talk to at Noble Gold. I promise you. Everyone's been trained by me. We're a low pressure. We want to help people, and so I really check out our reviews. I urge people to get out there and check us out, because I'm really proud of what we're doing. And if you're looking for just some free information, call us.
Colin Plume at noblegoldinvestment.com. Again, guys, call him at 877-646-5347. Colin, we appreciate what you're doing, and thank you for being such a good friend of our ministry, and we just hope you and your family are doing great.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pasquale. You too. And I think, that silver coin, you may want to, Brock, maybe I think he may deserve that coin. I don't want to step out of bounds here, but, it could be something you could put in his stocking. Maybe
I think that's a great suggestion. It might wind up in his stocking. So, all right, Colin. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. See you.
I appreciate you, Pasquale. Talk to you soon.
Okay. All right. Colin Plume, folks, great guy. I tell you, seriously, just a great guy. Guys, now don't forget something. Tonight, we're going to have a powerful show. Mike from around the world will be with us. You don't want to miss it. He said that China and Russia were the most dangerous possibilities against our country or the world, actually against the world. And today, articles came out saying that very thing. Why? We got to get it from Mike from around the world. We also got to get information from him about the 5 waves of energy and the effects on the planet. Why are so many asteroids getting so close and we're not getting a heads up? And all the other things we're going to talk to him about. Don't miss it tonight, right here at 9:45 p.m. Eastern with Mike from around the world. I'll see you tonight.